Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well today. I have some interesting news. It was sent to me. I'm going to read portion of it. I thought it was important for all of us to know about this. If you haven't read about it or heard anything about it yet, you might find it interesting and maybe it would help you knowing this to make some decisions. It's from, it's regarding Walmart is what it is. So I'm going to read part of the article and I will try to put the link below in my description area on the video. This is, it's a quarterly print that came out saying that their quarter one revenue jumped 2.5% to $165.6 billion, missing Wall Street's expectations of $166.02 billion. To me, it seems when you're talking billions, that doesn't seem like a lot of difference. Anyways, the adjusted earnings per share grew 1.7% over the year and beating estimates. But Walmart stock has hedged down slightly. And what is being said is we will do our best to keep prices as low as possible. But given the magnitude of the tariffs, even at the reduced levels announced this week, and this is, I think, as of yesterday, Thursday, we aren't able to absorb all the pressure given the reality of narrow retail margins. The Walmart CEO, Doug McMillon, said in a release. He added on the earnings call that tariffs have already led to price increases in April and May. He said, the reset costs will continue throughout the year, adding for an imported item you pay the tariff at the time it comes through the customs, even if the tariff comes down later. The cost has already been elevated. Robert Ohms of Bank of America estimates Walmart imports roughly 15% of its U.S. sales from China. Around 60% of the U.S. sales are groceries, which are largely tariff exempt if they're produced domestically or in Mexico and Canada. I'm just going to quick grab some statistics here rather than read the whole article. Says the projects net sales to increase between 3 and 4%, in line with a target of 4% annual sales growth it laid out years ago. And let's see here. Here's an earnings breakdown from Walmart first quarter. Revenue was $165.61 billion versus $166.02 billion. Walmart U.S. same-store sales growth 4.5% versus 3.85%. Foot traffic growth is 1.6% versus what was 3.5%. And it goes on to mention that Sam's Club, same thing with their growth, 6.7% versus 4.93%. This report could also be a key indicator of other retailers' results. Target, Home Depot, Lowe's are all set to report next week. So anyways, and it goes on, speaking of more things, with regard to Walmart. As I said, I will try to post this links if you want to read a little bit more in depth into it. I found this really kind of important because I hope we're not all sitting here thinking we're still waiting for those price decreases, because it doesn't sound to me, and maybe why I'm hearing a lot of people say, wow, Walmart prices are going up. They're getting higher and higher. Well, there's an answer somewhat to why it appears that way. I hope you found this interesting. If it helps you make decisions on buying things when they're on sale at a decent price, but that's another thing. I've noticed that, you'll see something that says, I'm just going to use figures, I'm making this up. It says regular $7.69 on sale for $6.98, let's say. Well, that sale price is what it used to be, the regular price. So they've just dropped it back to the used to be for the sale, but then when they're out of that and it comes back on the shelf, it's coming back at a higher price. I just want to make you aware of that when you're looking at things. I hope I made that clear what I mean about that. If not, ask me to repeat it again in the comments. So anyways, I hope you found this interesting. Take it in mind. Again, as I always say, don't panic. It's not an awful lot we can do about it except to figure out how we can fight back somewhat. And to me, I'm thinking that fighting back is by keeping a well-stocked pantry at the lowest prices that you can find right now, because I don't see an end to this for quite a while. Not to be all gloom and doom here, but I'm not really. I just am concerned that I don't see prices going down. And I know there's a lot of people that are out there. They're not going to change their minds. If this is the way they feel, it's the way they feel. And they're entitled to do that. But they're just going on about their life, buying what they want when they want it, and can afford to do that maybe. But at some point, I would hope their eyes are going to open and say, how come I just paid $3 for this when it was $2 last week? I don't understand the ones that are not seeing that happening in front of them. But there is a lot of us, folks. But there's a lot of us, like all of you and myself, who are trying to avoid that happening. I'm keeping my eyes open. I'm reading news reports like this. I'm looking at what's going on around the world, because eventually it's going to come here. It usually does. So anyways, that's all I have for you today. I hope you're... I'm sorry. I'm having a terrible time with the pollen, and I know I mentioned that before, but really it is. Anyways, that's all I have for you today. Hope you found it interesting, and I'm glad you came back again. I always like seeing you come back, and if it was a good video for you and you liked it, please push the thumbs up button. Push the share button so somebody else Maybe you can open up somebody else's eyes. Maybe seeing it in print and from corporation heads is something that people will pay more attention to. And if you would, please hit the subscribe button. It helps the channel, and I really appreciate it. So that's it for today. Take care, stay safe, stay well, and above all, be kind.